it's time to make the scones. These scones have big chunks of cheddar cheese and some pickled jalapenos, so the flavors really go nicely. And let me tell you, these scones bring the house down every time. And actually, I think scone is kind of an interesting term for this baked good. It's more like a biscuit, especially with the chunks of cheese. But we're gonna cut them in a scone-like shape, so we'll call them scones. And we're gonna make the dough in the food processor. Just makes it super easy. So in here I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour. To that I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar, 1/4 cup of sugar, a little bit of baking powder, just a tablespoon. Actually, a tablespoon is not a little bit. That's quite a bit for something like this. But the scones are a little bit on the heavy side with the cheese and the jalapeno, so they need a good amount of lift. Some salt. You want 1.25 teaspoons of table salt. All right. And now for the butter and the cheese, which I've kept chilled in the refrigerator. All right, that's the good stuff. It's 12 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna add half of it to the food processor now. It was cut down into 1/2-inch chunks. And again, I kept it nice and chilled in the refrigerator just until we needed it. Now I'm gonna let this processor rip for about 15 seconds. It's gonna break down that butter and it's gonna look like a uniform consistency, almost like cornmeal. All right, you can see that butter has worked in almost completely and it's changed the consistency of the flour so it looks like cornmeal. Now we're gonna add the rest of the butter, the remaining 6 tablespoons, and we're gonna add the cheddar. This is 6 ounces of sharp cheddar, again cut into 1/2-inch cubes. Now we're gonna pulse this in, about 10 pulses. And you want the size of the pieces of butter and cheese to be about the size of a pea, but no larger. So again, about 10, 12 pulses. All right, let's take a good look here. Looking for the biggest pieces I can feel, but being mindful of that blade down there in the bottom. You can see there's a piece of butter, there's a piece of cheese. That's about as large as you want any of the pieces to be, so this is perfect. Now we're gonna dump this mixture into a nice big bowl. Now time to add the pickled jalapenos. We're gonna add about 1/2 cup or so. You wanna take them out of their juice, give them a coarse chop. Yeah, that's about 1/2 cup, maybe a little extra. This is my favorite part of these scones. Run my knife through it. You don't want any big pieces, but you want them to be discernible in the final scone. That's perfect. Now I'm just gonna toss these in with the flour. You just wanna make them nice and coated with flour. Make sure they're evenly distributed throughout the bowl. This might get a little messy, but that's okay because the dough's on the wet side, but that makes sure the scone is nice and moist. That looks pretty good. Now I'm just making a little well in the center of the flour. That's where the liquids are gonna go. And here are the liquids. We have 1 cup of whole milk and 1 egg and 1 yolk. We're gonna whisk these together. Make sure those egg yolks are nicely broken up. All right, that looks good. Okay, liquids into the dry. Gonna put it right in the well. And then using a spatula, just gonna slowly tap the dry ingredients into the liquid. A few lumps are okay, but this method really helps prevent getting any big lumps. You wanna make sure all the flour is incorporated, that there's no loose floury bits. My mouth is already watering thinking about these. All right, so we're gonna turn this dough out onto a lightly floured counter. So here I have some bench flour, and I'm gonna turn the dough out, nice and sticky. Oh yeah. Just wanna knead the dough 2 or 3 times, make sure it's nice and cohesive. All right, that's it. Now we're gonna pat this out into a rectangle that measures about 15 inches long and 3 inches wide. Bench scraper is a really good tool for this. I actually flour the bench scraper and I use it to help me make nice straight sides. So 3 inches across, 15 inches long. All right, let's see how we're doing. About 3. Okay, needs to be just a bit narrower and a bit longer. That looks pretty good. Now we're gonna cut it into scone shape. And so I'm gonna divide this dough in half. We're gonna make 12 scones. So that's, make 6 out of this half and 6 out of this half. So divide the dough. Then we're gonna cut each one in half. More flour on this bench scraper. There we go. All right, and that's it. Wash my hands while I get the rim baking sheet for these. All right, clean hands, nice clean baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Now I'm gonna put these right onto the parchment paper. You wanna spread them out, you want an inch or so between the scones. They're gonna grow as they bake. You wanna give them nice ample room to get big and fluffy. All right, so these have to sit in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. Let them firm up a bit before you put them in the oven. But you can also refrigerate them for up to 24 hours in advance, which is great if you're having a party, and I highly recommend you make these for a party. They are such a hit. So quick covering with plastic wrap, and off to the fridge they go.
Hey there, I hope you're enjoying this video. Did you know that you can stream every season of your favorite shows from America's Test Kitchen anywhere, anytime, and ad-free? With an all-access digital membership, you can unlock thousands of recipes that have been rigorously tested by our experts. Not to mention unbiased equipment and ingredient reviews, available at home or on the go with our mobile app. Visit cookscountry.com to start your free trial.
Here's the chilled scones into a 425-degree oven. They take about 15 minutes to bake through. All right, I'm gonna spin them halfway through. Actually, they're not gonna be fully done after 15 minutes. We have a little trick we're gonna add at the end. So 15 minutes, then I'll show you the trick. Let's take a look at the scones that have been in the oven. Oh, yeah. I know, they're not even gorgeous yet. You can see the cheese has started to ooze out, and that oozy cheese is really good, but they're not done. So that little bit of a trick I was telling you about, so we're gonna finish these with a little bit of honey butter and pop them back in the oven for the last 5 minutes. So here I have 3 tablespoons unsalted melted butter. I'm gonna add about 1.5 tablespoons of honey to that. All right, so the honey not only adds a nice sweet flavor, but it's gonna help these scones finish browning so they come out just looking drop dead gorgeous. And I have to say, it's this honey butter that makes these irresistible. Back in the oven they go, same oven temperature, about 5 minutes to finish baking. Those scones should be done. Oh, look at that. That is just magic. I know the honey on top of the scones, it does so much for browning. I can't wait for you to try these. I mean, it's the kind of thing you take one bite, you're like, oh, that's good, and then it hits you. You taste the sweetness of the scone, and then you taste a little of the cheese, and then you get the jalapeno and the honey, and you can see the texture of it. It's like a really good tender biscuit. Oh, man, that's good. Thanks for watching. What'd you think? Leave a comment below and let me know what you're excited to cook this week. You can get today's recipes and more for free at our website.